Hey, Jim, y'all go ahead and stand up. Everybody stand up.
Good morning, everyone. We're starting a little bit early. If there's anyone that has retained a lawyer, expected lawyer to be here today, just let me know, and we'll wait until the lawyer comes on. But there is a little bit of information that I need to provide to you, and I can start that now. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I'm here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. But should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights: to the presumption of innocence, to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, to a speedy and public trial by jury, to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, and to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail. These bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail. If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you can remain in jail until your trial. You could also receive additional felony charges. It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Where the bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you. The standard at this stage is very low. A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred. Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date. Lastly, I need everyone to raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God? Okay, let's begin on the ladies' side with Barbara. Miss Barbara, ma'am, you're charged with one count of simple battery. Bond is going to be set at $4,000 for that offense, and one count of obstructing or hindering a law enforcement officer. Bond is going to be set at $2,000. So that's a total bond of $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
Okay, your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning. Courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back, ma'am. Miss Bernie? Ma'am, you've been charged with one count of simple assault. I've set the bond at $3,000 for that offense and one count of obstructing or hindering a law enforcement officer. Bond's going to be set at $2,000. So that's going to be a total bond of $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you will get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Yes.
Ms. Covington,
Yes, sir.
ma'am, you're charged with one count of battery. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. And one count of criminal trespass. Bond is going to be set at $3,000. So that's going to be a total bond of $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No, sir.
Okay. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Clara Lovett. Do you
They left her at my apartment, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
They left her at my apartment, the police, Clayton County. She's there now,
Right.
but that's my apartment.
Did you allow her to live there?
No, that's why I called and they locked me up. Cause she hit herself and lied and said I did it. That's why I'm locked up.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, as a judge, I cannot by law remove a person who is the alleged victim in a battery incident. So I have no control over that as it relates to her. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. I would encourage you to contact bonding companies to make arrangements and getting yourself out of jail.
Yes, sir. I won't go to court for any year.
Well, these conditions can be changed or modified, but it's going to have to go through the solicitor's office. And so they have their own ability to investigate the facts of what happened. Because all I have is the information that is placed on the warrantless arrest affidavit by the officer.
Do you know what bonding company I need to call?
I believe there are 5 that are allowed to write bonds here in Clayton County. All you need to do is request a list from.
I got the list.
Okay. Contact either one of them. And I encourage people to contact all of them because they're all working for your to generate business.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, ma'am. You're free to go back.
Okay.
Miss Guzman. Are you Miss Guzman? Ma'am, you've been charged with one count of criminal trespass. I've set the bond at $1,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from a Chad Taylor. Do you understand that? I'm sorry, ma'am.
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. The date will get waived upon your bonding out and you will get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah, but if I can afford a bill.
I'm sorry.
What if I can't afford a bond?
Then your lawyer can work with the solicitor's office to have a different bond set. Currently, with the bond set at $1,000, you're going to be looking at paying about $100 to a bonding company. Okay. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't want a lawyer no more.
You said you do not want a lawyer anymore.
Right.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else, ma'am?
No, that's it.
Okay, you're free to go back. Miss Lehman
Yes.
or Lehman?
Yes.
Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass.
Mhm.
You're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. I've set the bond at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No, I'm gonna try to get a lawyer and wait. I may set bond, but I have to call family and all kinds of stuff, so I'm not sure about it.
Okay, so you're going to hire your own lawyer?
Yes, I'm gonna try to see if I can get one appointed. If they have one.
So do you want me to make the determination as to whether you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Mary Hampton. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Miss Moore? Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of aggravated assault. This is a felony offense. Bond is going to be set at $10,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Miss Jones. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 13th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Ms. Patterson.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Patterson. Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of simple battery. I've set the bond at $4,000 for that offense, and 1 count of criminal trespass. I've set the bond at $3,000. So that's a total bond of $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from an Anthony Cooper. Do you understand that?
Yes. Does that mean that that's a restraining order, or I have to go to court for a restraining order?
It's not a restraining order. It's a stay away provision that's posted on your bond. If you were to violate this stay away provision by having contact with Mr. Cooper, it could lead to a felony charge of aggravated stalking. And there's no bond for an aggravated stalking charge.
Question. I've been living in my house for 2 years and he's been in and out for the last month or so, 2 months. So what am I supposed to do about that? Do I not get to live in my house?
Currently, no. If that's where he is living, currently, no. I don't have any authority to remove an alleged victim from a residence, even if that person doesn't own the residence. Because if you allowed the person to live there, that was a decision that you made.
But do they live there though? If they come in and out, because there's no keys, there's no mail, you don't have anything there. Nothing's there of you. Only I'm there. So
Okay.
it's only when you come in and out, you don't even have keys to my house or anything. And then he told the officers that he wanted to be escorted out. So I'm trying to figure out how does this work because it's me and my 3 kids.
Okay. So people make their lives complicated. Okay. I can't be the person that's at your home deciding how you live your life. Okay, that's a decision that you have to make. All I can do is tell you that this stay away provision is for the person, not a particular location. So if Mr. Cooper is not at your house, you're free to go to your house.
And then just let him know that I have a stay away, that he can't be present in my presence, or I can be in his presence.
No. And the reason we place a stay away provision on this is very simple. Whatever disagreement you had led to your being arrested. We don't want whatever that disagreement was that took place to flare itself up again this evening, because we just simply don't have the resources to keep having law enforcement come out to your place. Okay? So
I guess, sorry, Your Honor. I guess I'm just trying to ask, if he's not present and I go there, he still has a right to come in and I have to then leave?
I can't make a determination about that because I don't know your living arrangements.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'm just, okay, yes.
Like, okay, so let me just try to say it as simply as I can. If you've allowed Mr. Cooper to move in and out of your house, that's a decision that you made. I don't know if he has established residence there. I don't, because I don't have that information, because we try to stay out of people's lives. Okay. Let grown people be grown people. When law enforcement is called in and judges have to get involved, you got to set bright lines so that everybody understands. Because, and I don't live in the fantasy world. I know that when I set a stay away provision, people get back together that same night. And if that's what you choose to do with Mr. Cooper, that's fine until he decides he's going to call the police on you. And then you get an aggravated stalking charge.
I'm just trying to protect myself. If I go home and he comes there because they said, oh, he can break it however he needs to if he's living or he's here. My question is, do I then call the police? And am I protected not to go back to jail because I'm in the residency and he's now come there? That's what I'm trying to get.
You most likely will go to jail. And the thing is, I can't provide you legal advice. I can provide a lawyer to you that you can ask these questions to a lawyer, and the lawyer can give you legal advice.
Okay.
Okay. And I know that it sounds horrible, but I can't get in the middle of whatever situation is going on, and then also be a neutral and detached judge. Okay. So would you like for me to appoint a lawyer to represent you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will find that you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer, and I will appoint a lawyer. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. But that date will get changed upon your bonding out. And the best advice I can give you, ma'am, is not to have someone living in your house unless there's a legal arrangement. Okay? Uh-oh, looks like you froze. Okay. Did you hear that from me, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Miss Willis? Yeah. Ma'am, you're charged with one count of simple assault. I've set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No, I was going to ask if I could respectfully request a signature bond because I have a job interview tomorrow.
Okay, I am going to deny that request. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond, a stay away from a Dejanique Allen. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And ma'am, the reason I'm denying the request is because this is all about controlling your behavior based upon the allegation. And I just have a issue with adults not acting like adults. And so that's why I'm not going to change or reduce or modify the bond amount. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
I'm going to find that you qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, thank you.
Okay. You're free to go back, ma'am. Miss Kane. Ma'am, you're here on what's called a fugitive from justice warrant. And what that simply means is that there's a warrant for your arrest out of another state. And in this instance, it looks like there's a warrant from the Bergen County Sheriff's Department in Hackensack, New Jersey, for failure to appear. And they have indicated that they will extradite you. So you can demand to have a hearing. And it's generally called a habeas corpus hearing. And at that hearing, a judge in Clayton County will determine whether you are the person named in the warrant and whether the warrant exists for a new charge. If you request that hearing, it'll take place sometime between now and 90 days. I can't tell you when that'll happen, but it'll take place within that time period. And at that hearing, the judge is going to make the determination as to whether you are the person named in the warrant and whether the warrant actually exists. You can waive that hearing. And if you were to waive that hearing sometime within the next 30 days, the Bergen County Sheriff's Department would be responsible to come and pick you up and take you back to New Jersey. They get an additional 30 days if for whatever reason they call and say, hey, we couldn't make it during that time period. We're asking for an additional 30 days. They have the right to make that request. They may not get it, but they have the right to make that request. You also, and I encourage everyone who's in the position that you're in to hire a lawyer up in New Jersey to represent your interests, because you're going to need to have a lawyer anyway. And sometimes the lawyers are able to work out an arrangement in the requesting jurisdiction where they will grant you a bond. And if they call Clayton County and say, release her, we'll release you because we have no interest in your case at all. We're just holding you because that's our statutory duty. Have I made sense to you so far?
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to think about whether you want to request a hearing or waive the hearing?
I will waive it.
Okay. So the deputies will present you with the waiver forms and they'll send them over to me and I'll sign those forms and the clock will begin running today. But I would encourage you to go ahead and take the steps to hire a lawyer because I've seen where jurisdictions, especially with this pandemic time, they don't want to travel. So they may grant a bond and then the whole process is over for you. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Once you sign the waiver forms, you'll be free to go back.
Okay.
Okay. Let's switch over to the male side with Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen, sir, you're charged with one count of aggravated assault. That's a felony offense. I've set the bond at $10,000 for that charge, and 2 counts of cruelty to children in 3rd degree. Those are misdemeanor offenses, and I've set a bond of $3,000 for each offense. So you're going to have a total bond of $16,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
How much?
$16,000.
And like, how much would I have to come up with to get out?
Generally, it's about 10%. And I don't work for the bonding company, so you would have to call each one and ask them how much that they will charge you.
Okay.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond, a stay away from a Jada. I think it looks like Allen, AILEN. Do you understand that?
Sure.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 13th at 8:30 in the morning. Courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Sure.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back. Mr. Bell.
You go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Bell, you have been charged with a number of serious offenses. You have 4 counts of aggravated stalking. I cannot set bond on those offenses at this time. You're charged with 1 count of simple battery, family violence. There's going to be a $3,000 bond. 1 count of obstructing or hindering an emergency telephone call. There's going to be a $2,000 bond. You're charged with 1 count of kidnapping. Bond is going to be denied at this stage. 1 count of aggravated assault by strangulation. Bond is going to be denied at this stage. 1 count of false imprisonment. Bond is going to be denied at this stage. Charged with 1 count of family violence battery. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. And 1 count of criminal trespass, damage to property. Bond is going to be set at $3,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond, a stay away from a Shartina Adderley. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 13th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. You're going to have a bond hearing date set for December 17th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I do. And you appointed a lawyer to me already. I've been trying to contact them because I've been having the police called on me when I was nowhere near her. And I haven't been able to get in contact with the lawyer. The lawyer hasn't been in contact with me either.
Okay. When I appointed, you said I appointed the lawyer to you?
Yes.
Was it a misdemeanor offense?
It was the same person. I haven't been around her. She'll call the police. The police will call me. I say, I haven't been there. And they say, if you don't come here, we're going to give you warrants. So I've tried to call the lawyer. I've tried to call everybody.
So let me ask the question again. Was it a misdemeanor offense or do you know?
It was, I believe it was both.
You believe it was felony and misdemeanor charges? Okay, so you should be represented by someone in the public defender's office. And you said you called the public defender's office and you've not been able to speak to anyone.
Multiple times.
Okay.
I've talked to the magistrate, public defender's office, the Superior Court. I'm trying to talk to everybody.
Okay, so the magistrate court, we would assign lawyers. Okay, we don't run the public defender's office. We don't run Lister and Hope, which is the law firm that handles the misdemeanor offenses. So they're the people that you would have to reach out and make contact with. And if it's a felony offense, it's going to be with the Clayton County Public Defender's Office. Okay. You can also look the information up on their website.
Done that. We've been trying to contact them since I stood right here. And since I've been getting false police reports, I've been trying to contact.
Okay. Well, what I would encourage you to do is to make that phone call. I don't have the ability to look into what you are asking about right now. Give me 1 second. And your first name is spelled Dawud?
Correct.
So what is showing is that you were bound over to Superior Court on aggravated assault charge on July 15th of 2021. And it says that you have a lawyer, Camille Reddick.
Right. Have not been able to contact. We tried. We didn't get contact back.
Okay.
Not working anymore. Yeah.
So your case, it does not appear as though your case has been formally charged yet, but it is showing the Camille Reddick as your lawyer.
So, I don't believe she works for the county anymore. Can I get another lawyer appointed, please?
It has her listed as still working for the Clayton County Bar Public Defender's Office. So what you're going to have to do is go through the Clayton County Public Defender's Office, because I appoint the office and it's up to the local public defender to allocate the resources as to who is representing whom.
Well, since we have these new charges, will they be contacted again so I will possibly get a new lawyer?
To be honest with you, that's an internal decision that I don't have the ability to allocate their resources. So, and just so that you are aware, the way that the current state of the law is that you're entitled to have a lawyer represent you. You're not entitled to the lawyer of your choice. So you can always go and hire a lawyer, and that's the lawyer you have of your choice, but you're entitled to be represented. And all I can do is appoint the agency to represent you. once your case gets assigned to a courtroom, that judge will be the person making the decision. Anything else, Mr. Bell?
When did you say my preliminary hearing was?
Currently, it's going to be set for December 13th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201.
Is it possible to get that earlier since I'm a single father?
So the dates that we're setting now are the earliest dates that we have available. So all I can do, sir, is I can point you in sort of the right direction. I hear what you're saying, as you believe that these charges are false. I cannot get involved with that at this stage. That's where a preliminary hearing comes into play, where people are called to testify. And as a judge, I can ask questions.
Any more questions? No, that's it.
Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Carter.
If you could, you can go on outside. I was watching for a while.
Mr. Carter, sir, you're charged with one count of forgery in the second degree. This is a felony offense. Bond is going to be set at $6,000. You're also charged with one count of theft by taking as a felony offense. Bond is also going to be set at $6,000. So you're going to have a total bond set at $12,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Sir, those charges are old. Those from the last time out there.
This warrant was obtained on Saturday.
On Saturday?
10:30 at 11:57 a.m. And it says that on 10:29 at Lake Harbin Road in Morrow, that the allegation is that you committed the offense of forgery in the second degree with the intent to defraud, did knowingly make, alter, and or possess a certain writing other than a check to wit $2,742 in U.S. currency in a fictitious name in such a manner that the writing as made or altered purports to have been made by another person at another time with different provisions or by authority of one who did not give such authority. Said accused did have on his person his left front pants pocket found incident to arrest. So did you get arrested on October 29th?
Yes, sir.
And did they take money out of your pocket?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, it says the theft by taking is about a 2000 Ford Super Duty truck that you are alleged to have taken from an Eric Hernandez. And that was on 10/29/2021 at 6:44 p.m.
And we got me charged with forgery?
And theft by taking.
How am I charged with forgery and I haven't ever signed?
Okay, Mr. Carter, give me 1 second.
Thank you.
All right, I need you to listen, okay? And I'm not reading this for you to agree. I'm reading this to inform you. It says on the date above at 18:37 hours, I responded to 6383 Childers Way, Morrow, Clayton County, Georgia, for a report of a vehicle that was just stolen. On my arrival, I spoke with the homeowner who stated that her friend's truck was stolen and her friend had jumped into the back of it as the perpetrator was driving off. The homeowner stated that they had went east on Lake Harbin Road. The homeowner did not know the make or model of the truck, only that it was black. I then began to search for the black truck, locating it on Lake Harbin Road at its intersection with Brookshire Road. The victim, Kevin Hernandez, was with the vehicle still. Kay Hernandez stated that the suspect, identified as a black male, medium build, with a black hat, ran down Brookshire Road. As the officers arrived to assist the owner of the black truck, Erica Hernandez was in the area looking for the suspect. E. Hernandez at that time pointed out a black male, identifying him as the person who stole his truck. K. Hernandez confirmed that the subject, E. Hernandez located, was the suspect. At that time, officers apprehended the suspect, handcuffing him behind his back, checking the handcuffs for fit and double locking them. After handcuffing the suspect, he complained that the handcuffs were too tight. The handcuffs were reset and adjusted. Once the suspect was apprehended, the suspect was searched incident to arrest on his person. I located a Georgia identification card identifying him as Dioris Carter. Continuing to search Carter, $2,742 and counterfeit currency was located in Carter's left front pocket. Currency was checked and it did not have a watermark, a security strap, or any other anti-counterfeiting measures in place. The counterfeit money was seized and placed in an evidence bag in my patrol vehicle that only I had access to. Does that now refresh your memory?
So he's saying the counterfeit money belonged to him.
Okay, so the counterfeit money was alleged to have been removed from the front left pocket of a person identified as Dioris Carter.
Okay.
Is there anything else, Mr. Carter?
Nothing else, sir? No, sir. Discuss your case. No, sir.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 13th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. If there's nothing else, Mr. Carter, you're free to go back.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Davis.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Sir, you're charged with one count of simple battery. I set the bond at $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from a Tonette Little. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to find that you qualify. Mr. Davis, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. If you don't have any other questions, sir, you're free to go back.
Have a good one, sir.
You too, Mr. Hall. Mr. Hall, sir, you're charged with one count of improper lane change. This bond is set by schedule, which means it's automatically set at $500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Head.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with one count of driving under influence of alcohol. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
How much do you earn per hour?
For hours, 20, almost 30 some dollars an hour.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
If I decide to get my own lawyer, would it be fine?
You will just notify the appointed lawyer that you're going to discharge them as your lawyer, and then you get to hire your own lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Jasmine. Sir, you're charged with one count of battery. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Tanisha Jasmine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
It appears that you're going to hire your own lawyer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any? Well, your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Jasmine?
No, sir.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back. Mr. Is it Laurier?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with one count of theft by taking as a misdemeanor. Bond is going to be set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Oh, they're not taking like where?
I'm sorry, sir.
Does it say like where did I steal from? It just say death by taking?
Yes. It says that the allegation is that you took $68 cash, the property of UPS store with the value of $1,500 or less, with the intent to deprive said owner of said property.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, sir? Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Mayberry. Sir, you're charged with one count of criminal trespass. I've set the bond at $1,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Reuben McLean. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Price.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with one count of simple assault. I set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Sinella Price. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Yes.
Mr. Slayton.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with one count of aggravated assault. That's a felony offense. I've set the bond at $10,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 13th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. It looks like the alleged victim is a person named Steve Pruitt. I'm going to place a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Mr. Pruitt. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. But see, that's my parents' house, and they have both passed away, and it's in probate court. And, that's the only place I have to live.
So, Mr. Pruitt, the question I have for you is this. What's to stop you from going back to that house this evening and for there to be another dispute?
No, I won't do that.
The charge, the charge of aggravated assault, without seeing more, seemed a little bit punitive to me. But I wasn't there. The officer was there, so I'm going to rely upon the officer's input. I'm not going to place a stay away provision on this bond.
You're not?
I'm not. That means you can go back to the residence. But I'm telling you, sir.
Yes, sir. This is a very bad situation.
Yes. And law enforcement does not have the time to basically referee arguments between adults, and somebody more than likely is going to go to jail if the police are called back out there. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 13th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. Doesn't look like I have a form for you. You're going to hire your own lawyer?
No, sir. I'm disabled, and I'm on disability. I don't make any money.
Okay. So do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Please.
Okay. I'm going to find that you qualify, Mr. Slayton. For some reason, your form has been misplaced, but I'll be able to put another form together. You said you're disabled.
Yes, sir. I'm on disability.
Okay. All right. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Slayton?
No, sir.
Okay. You're free to go back, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. White?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with one count of simple battery. I've set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from a Jaleesa White. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for December 14th at 8:30 in the morning, courtroom 201. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir. Please.
You do qualify, Mr. White. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
That's gonna be everybody on the calendar, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm living God.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Deputy Jackson, Deputy Ricani, good morning to you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
I appreciate you all coming on a bit earlier here. And let's see, Marie, good morning to you. And let's see, Miss Mendez Porter. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Looks like we have Miss Mendez Porter here. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine, Your Honor. Thank you. How are you?
All right, pretty good here. We have one individual this morning that needs your services. And how do you say the name? Utrilla? Vivira's Utrilla?
What position is that, Your Honor? Oh, I was trying to find it on my calendar.
I'm not sure what calendar you're looking at. I printed off the non-published one.
I'll look it up, Your Honor, because I'm not really sure.
All right. Yeah, I can spell it out for you.
Okay.
All right. Jaime.
Yes.
And then the last name is Utrillaviveros.
Okay, it's Jaime Utrilla Viveros.
All right. All right, deputies, do we have him?
Yes, Your Honor. Do you need him?
Oh, deputy, we can, yep, we're gonna do him first.
Oh, I found it.
Okay.
All right, good morning, Mr. Utrilla Viveros.
Buenos días, señor Utrilla Viveros. Good morning.
This is the Clayton County Magistrate Court, and you're here for your first appearance this morning.
Esta es la Corte Magistral del Condado de Clayton y está usted aquí en su primera comparecencia ante el juez.
All right, today is November 2nd, 2021. I'm Judge Knights.
Este es el día 2 de noviembre del 2021 y yo soy el juez Knights.
All right, sir. Do you speak English?
Señor, ¿usted habla inglés? No.
Okay, the reason I ask is because you completed some of your application for court-appointed counsel.
La razón por la cual le pregunto es porque usted llenó una solicitud para ver si califica para un abogado de oficio que le represente y usted la llenó.
Sí.
Yes.
All right. What is your phone number?
¿Cuál es su número de teléfono?
Es 707-919-2806.
The interpreter needs clarification. Dijo 707. Okay. It's 707-919-2806.
What is your address?
¿Cuál es su dirección?
No me la sé la dirección.
I don't know it. My address.
Are you employed?
¿Usted trabaja?
No.
No.
Do you have someone that can help you pay for legal services?
¿Tiene usted a alguien que le pueda ayudar para pagar los servicios legales?
No.
No.
All right. You have constitutional rights that I will inform you of this morning.
Tiene usted derechos constitucionales que le voy a informar esta mañana. Your Honor, the interpreter has not been sworn in.
All right, Ms. Mendez-Porter, you're always on the oath.
Oh,
solemnly swear or affirm that you will translate accurately from Spanish to English to Spanish to the best of your abilities. So help you God.
I do. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Yes, ma'am. All right. You have the presumption of innocence until a state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Usted tiene la preasunción de inocencia hasta que la fiscalía compruebe más allá de duda razonable de lo contrario.
You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
Usted tiene el derecho de tener un juicio sin demora ante los miembros de un jurado, si así lo desea.
You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine any witnesses that the state can call to testify against you at trial.
Usted tiene el derecho de carearse y hacerle preguntas a testigos que la fiscalía llame para declarar en su contra.
You have the right to compel witnesses through a subpoena to testify in your favor and even to testify for yourself if you choose to do so.
Usted tiene el derecho de poder exigir por medio de una orden de un citatorio judicial a traer testigos que declaren en su favor o de su parte si así lo desea.
But should you choose not to testify, the presumption of your guilt may be raised.
Pero si usted decidiera no declarar en juicio, entonces se pudiera preasumir culpabilidad de alguna manera de su parte.
You have the right to an attorney to represent you throughout every proceeding related to this charge.
Y sin embargo, usted tiene el derecho a no declarar y no debe tomarse en su contra. Usted tiene el derecho a no autoincriminarse.
The questions I asked you earlier about your phone number and address and your employment were for me to fill in on your application for court-appointed counsel, and I will appoint an attorney to represent you.
La razón que le hice esas preguntas anteriormente es para llenar algunos de los espacios que debían estar llenados y por eso le pregunté sobre su número de teléfono y su dirección. Pero yo le voy a nombrar a un abogado de oficio para que lo represente.
Please stay in touch with your lawyer.
Por favor, manténgase en comunicación, en contacto con su abogado.
You're charged with one count of trafficking marijuana. It's a felony, and you do not have a bond today. You are not getting a bond on this offense.
Usted tiene un cargo por narcotráfico de marihuana. Este es un delito grave y no se le va a otorgar una fianza el día de hoy.
You have a bond hearing of December 17th.
Usted va a tener una audiencia para lo de la fianza el 17 de diciembre.
And you have a preliminary hearing of December 13th. Both of those days are at 8:30 a.m.
Y también va a tener una audiencia preliminar el 13 de diciembre. Ambas audiencias se celebrarán a las 8:30 de la mañana.
All right, sir, that will conclude your first appearance, and you should stay in touch with your lawyer going forward with your questions.
Bueno, entonces esto concluye la audiencia de primera comparecencia. Manténgase en contacto con su abogado. Y de aquí en adelante, todas las preguntas deberán ser dirigidas a esa persona.
All right. Yep. Thank you. All right, Ms. Mendez-Porter, thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
You have a good day. Thanks.
You too, Your Honor.
All right. Bye.
Se puede retirar, señor. I just said he could leave.
Okay, perfect.
The defendant.
Yes, ma'am. All right. All right, Deputy Ricania, Deputy Jackson, we're ready.
All right.
Ready when you are. You both are. All right. Good morning, everyone. Today is November 2nd. It's 2021. Clayton County Magistrate Court Judge Knights presiding here on first appearance. First appearance is for me to inform you of your charge or charges, your bond amount if you're entitled to bond, any special conditions related to your bond. Also, to appoint an attorney to represent you if you qualify for court-appointed counsel. Tell you about your next court date, which is your preliminary hearing, and your bond hearing if you do not get a bond. Also, and most importantly, to inform you of your constitutional rights that stay with you. They've been with you from the time you were arrested or before you were arrested, and will stay with you even through the conclusion of every proceeding, and however your matter will be disposed of before you going forward. So these constitutional rights are very important. No one can take them away from you. So please listen very keenly here. You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine any witnesses that the state can call to testify against you at any proceeding, but most importantly, at a trial. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You are presumed innocent. You have the presumption of innocence, and the state, which is the district attorney, if you're charged with a felony, or the solicitor general, if you're charged with all misdemeanors, the state has to prove this charge or these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to subpoena witnesses to testify on your behalf if you choose to do so. If you do not testify, the presumption of your guilt may be raised. Also, you have the right to an attorney to represent you, as I mentioned, in every stage going forward after today, or even today, if you already have a private attorney. So what I would discuss with you will be these four things and these four things only. First, it would be bond. You will get a bond today if by law I can give you a bond. This is magistrate court, so some of you will not get a bond today, as you may have just seen Mr. Utrilla Viveros. He did not get a bond based on the nature of the offense. So some of you will not get a bond today. You will be in the same situation. However, it doesn't mean you're never getting a bond. It means you have to speak with your lawyer. Your lawyer will speak with the district attorney and possibly work on a consent bond, or you will await a hearing, either at your preliminary hearing or a bond hearing shortly thereafter, and you can get a bond possibly at that time. So that's what will happen as far as bond goes. Magistrate court judges, as I mentioned, can't give bond on certain felony offenses. Also, if you're on probation or parole, and based on the nature of the offenses, those can also be reasons why your bond can be denied today. Some of you may have a special condition of bond. That means you can't contact someone or you can't go somewhere. If I say don't contact Joe Smith, you can't contact Joe Smith, and Joe Smith can't be the person to post your bond. If I say don't go to 123 Main Street, you can't go there. And those special conditions are taken very seriously. If it's a person-on-person crime, then certainly a special condition may apply. Those special conditions, again, speak with your lawyer. They can go away, but as of today, they will be in place until they're removed by another judge at another proceeding. All right, for bond, you can contact the bonding company. I don't work for any bonding company, so I can't tell you specifically what you will pay or any of those questions that you may have related to bond. You have to speak to a representative of the bonding company, and they can answer all your questions about that. I can tell you that generally it can be up to 3%. 15% of the bond amount that you pay. Additionally, there may be fees associated with the bond. Also, as I mentioned to you there, the bonding company is the best source, but I do know that there can be equity up to 3 times in the property if property is posted as bond. So please be sure to have your questions ready for the representative of the bonding company. Failure to follow the special conditions, if you have them, can result in additional criminal charges. On the bond orders that I completed this morning, there's a section on there that you will be asked to complete, acknowledging that you received a copy of the bond conditions, your date, and sign it. Also, your next court date, if you're charged with misdemeanors only, your next court date is December 14th. Stand by for me one moment. All right. Thank you for your patience there. Just had to get that background noise gone there. So as I mentioned there, the bonding company is the best source. And you will acknowledge the special conditions of bond. Stay in touch with your lawyer. and your lawyer can assist you with changing the bond conditions or lowering your bond or getting a bond if you don't get a bond today. All right, next court date, preliminary hearing, December 14th, if you're charged with misdemeanors only. December 13th, if you're charged with at least one felony. Bond hearing date, December 17th. All of those dates, the times are 8:30 a.m. Preliminary hearing is your next court date. If you bond out of jail, your preliminary hearing is waived. Preliminary hearing is also known as a probable cause hearing or prelim. It simply means that the state, which is the officer, or deputy, or investigator, detective, whatever law enforcement agent arrested you or was part of your arrest or investigation related to the charge or charges against you, they have to testify. They have to testify as to why you were arrested. They have to give an articulable, valid legal reason. They have to say, I arrested this person because of these things, and these things are a violation of the law. It has to be clear. If it's not charged, the charge or charges will be dismissed. If it is valid, then your case will be sent to state court if there's at least misdemeanors, and superior court if there are felonies involved. Also, if you bond out of jail, you'll stand by in the mail for notice for your arraignment. But if you're still in jail, that's when your preliminary hearing will happen. Also, as far as the applications for court-appointed counsel that you completed, we'll review that and appoint an attorney if you qualify. You can always hire your own lawyer at any time. So if you are not locked into the court-appointed attorney, they will contact you. I'm not sure what the method is, if they're visiting the jail or if they're doing video visits. That will be something you can acquire from the deputies as far as them being able to meet with you, but they will meet with you and you can discuss everything about your case there. Also, once I go through the charge or charges, the bond condition, bond amount, as well as the preliminary hearing and appointing an attorney, actually, if you have any questions related to those things only, please be aware, I'm not your lawyer. I can't give you legal advice. This is not a trial. Resist the urge to tell me facts about your case. I'm streaming this live on YouTube. People are looking at it. People can go back and look at it. Exercise your right to your Fifth Amendment. Use your Fifth Amendment. Don't say something that you may think might be helping and may just incriminate you. Don't self-incriminate. I'm not here to assist you in any way. I'm just here to read off and let you know what's happening with your charge, your bond, appoint a lawyer, tell you your court date. All right, so resist the urge to tell me facts. It can only possibly be a detriment to you, because even if you tell me all the facts you want to tell me, there's nothing I'll be able to do except maybe consider your bond, changing your bond. All right, so resist the urge if you feel like you want to tell me something about your charge. I can't stress that enough. I don't want you to do something that you may later work against you. All right. Talk to your lawyer. Your lawyer is the person that can fight for you. OK. Charges get dismissed every day and the police are not always correct. Law enforcement are not always correct. Things happen. So all is not lost. Speak with your lawyer and fight your case going forward, if that is your desire, at the appropriate time, but not today. All right. Each of you raise your right hand for me. All right. Each of you solemnly swear or affirm any statements or testimony you will give in this matter pending before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, be on standby for me. And we'll come back to you females first. All right, Deputy Jackson, there's a couple of people that will have to be put on for tomorrow. Let's see. Tanisha Blyther is one of them, as well as Sabrina Percy on the female side, and Korean Muhammad. Is that a male or female? All right, you're muted.
That's Emil, Your Honor.
All right, so Sabrina Percy and Tanisha Bleicher, those are females?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so they'll be on tomorrow.
Clear.
All right, so I'm ready when you are.
Barcenas? Say your name.
Catherine Short Barcenas.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Barcenas. You're charged with 1 count of trafficking methamphetamine. It's a felony. There's no bond today. Your preliminary hearing is December 13th, 8:30. Bond hearing is December 17th at 8:30. Ms. Barcenas, I am appointing an attorney to represent you, ma'am. You have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
What's his name? Beatles?
Your Beatles.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Beatles. You're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass misdemeanor. 2,500 is your bond. No contact with Reginald Lattimore. And December 14th, 8:30 is your preliminary hearing. 8:30. And I am appointing an attorney to represent you. Ms. Beatles, you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
What's his name?
Tamika Davis.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Davis. 1 count of simple battery is your offense that you're charged with. Your bond is 2,500. At this time, there's no contact with Terry Lee. And you have a preliminary hearing of November 14th, 8:30. And I'm sorry, ma'am, December 14th at 8:30. And Ms. Davis, one moment here, looking at your application. All right, did you complete an application for court-appointed counsel?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Davis, what is your income?
Right now I am unemployed. I go to school full time.
All right, do you have anyone that can assist you with attorney fees?
Yes.
All right, I will appoint an attorney to represent you, ma'am. I'll note this here. And do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Martin? His name?
Hannah Martin.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Martin. You're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. It's a misdemeanor. So in the Hughley also lives there?
She got kicked out.
Okay. All right. Your bond is 1,000. Preliminary hearing is the 14th of December, 8:30. And I will appoint an attorney to represent you, ma'am. You have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Smith? Say your name.
Katie Smith.
All right. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Smith. You're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated battery, false imprisonment. On those 3 offenses, they're felonies. There's no bond on any of those 3. You're also charged with tampering with evidence and terroristic threats and acts. It's 10,000 on each of those 2. And you're charged with simple battery. Your bond is 2,500 on that offense. Your preliminary hearing is December 14th at 8:30. And your bond hearing is December 17th at 8:30. Ms. Smith, I am appointing an attorney to represent you, ma'am. You have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, that's it for the female side now. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Deputy Jackson. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
All right, you too. All right, Deputy Jackson. Looks like we lost Deputy Ricania. Can you radio him or check on him? Oh, he's on the same side. What's happening? Okay.
Oh, yeah, Your Honor.
All right. His square disappeared, and I think yours replaced it. I thought we lost you. All right. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Papers.
All right. Good morning to you, sir. What's your name?
Andre Bush.
What's your last name?
Capers Bush.
Capers Bush. Yes, sir. All right. You're charged with one count of violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. That's possession of marijuana, gummies. It is $10,000 is your bond on that offense. Preliminary hearing scheduled for the 13th of December at 8:30. And I am appointing an attorney to represent you, sir. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Close.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Good morning to you. Is this Mr. Clowers?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, Mr. Clowers. Sir, you're charged with one count of robbery. There's no bond today on that offense. One count of battery. $5,000 is the bond on that offense. Preliminary hearing scheduled for December 13th, 8:30. Bond hearing December 17th, 8:30. Mr. Clowers, I am appointing an attorney to represent you, sir. You have any questions?
I was supposed to have an attorney. They're supposed to be on the call with this, but I don't know if they showed up or not.
All right, sir. I don't see your lawyer. Who's your lawyer?
Her name is Trisha Solomon.
All right, she's not present, sir. So stay in touch with your lawyer. All right, you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you go that one. State your name.
Richard Gentleman.
All right, Mrs. Shenmo, you're charged with one count of possession of a drug-related object. It's misdemeanor. $500 is your bond. One count of crossing the guard line with the contraband substance that is suspected cocaine is $3,000 is your bond on that offense. $3,500 is your total there, sir. And I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You have any questions?
I appreciate it.
All right, yes, sir.
Ms. Fisher.
All right, Mr. Fisher, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
All right, you're charged with 3 serious felonies here: aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated battery, false imprisonment. There's no bond on any of those 3. Tampering with evidence and terroristic threats are the other 2 offenses. It's $10,000 each on those 2 offenses. Preliminary hearing scheduled for December 13th, 8:30. Bond hearing December 17th, 8:30. Mr. Fisher, you have any questions?
For the bonds I have for those 2 charges, I still won't be able to get out, right?
That's correct, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so stay in touch with your lawyer.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, Deputy Ricani, there's 2 that have to be continued to tomorrow. I could not get the warrants on those 2. It's Robinson and Percy.
Okay.
All right.
Is there?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Nathan Grover. Robinson, you can go.
Grover, what's your first name? Quintavious. All right. Yes, sir. You're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated battery, and false imprisonment. There's no bond on those 3 offenses today. You're also charged with tampering with evidence and terroristic threats. 10,000 on each of those 2 offenses is your bond on those. Sir, your preliminary hearing is December 13th, 8:30. Bond hearing December 17th, 8:30. And I am appointing an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Green.
Yes, sir, Mr. Green.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. So you're charged with all misdemeanors here. Driving while license suspended, it's $1,500 is your bond. No insurance, $1,000. No state tag, $500. Preliminary hearing, December 14th, 8:30. And I am appointing an attorney to represent you, Mr. Green. You have any questions, sir? All right, thank you. Say it again.
I was told that I had a hold or something.
I'm not sure about that, sir. You check with the deputies. They may be able to better tell you about that. Yes, sir.
Mr. Jenkins.
Is Groover here, or he bonded out? Groover
On the calendar says he's loaned, so he's
David
not here.
Groover. He's not here.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you. One moment here. Who's this?
Jordan Jenkins.
All right. Good morning to you, Mr. Jenkins. You're charged with 1 count of possession of less than an ounce of marijuana. It's a misdemeanor. $1,500 is your bond. And possession of a drug-related object, $500 is your bond. And preliminary hearing, December 14th. Mr. Jenkins, what is your monthly income, sir?
I'm not sure.
All right, you left it blank on your form here, so I need to know that before I can appoint an attorney to represent you. What did you make last month?
I make like 800 every 2 weeks.
So about 1,600?
Yeah.
All right, sir. I will appoint an attorney to represent you. All right, you have any questions?
No.
Bring him back for me, please. All right. Mr. Jenkins, you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Jones.
All right, Mr. Jones, how do you say your first name?
Sarikius.
All right, Sarikius Jones, good morning to you, sir. You're charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of armed robbery. There's no bond on either one of those 2 felonies. And you're charged with misdemeanor battery. Your bond is $5,000. Your preliminary hearing set for December 13th, 8:30. Your bond hearing is set for December 17th, 8:30. Mr. Jones, I am appointing an attorney to represent you, sir. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Latimer.
All right, Mr. Latimer, good morning to you. All right, you charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, family violence. No contact with Sonia Beatles at this time. Who lives at the address, sir? Is it you or her?
It's her.
You live there?
She lives there.
Okay. All right, so you can't go back there. I saw her earlier. I didn't put that condition on her, but you cannot return to that address at this time. I understand that you all have a child together, but at this time, you can't go back there until you speak with your lawyer and that condition is changed, sir. Do you understand that? It's the 5544 Luther Court address.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, I am appointing an attorney to represent you, and your preliminary hearing is December 14th at 8:30. You have any questions?
Do I get a bond?
Yes, sir. 2,500 is what I led with. 2,500. No contact with Sonia Beatles.
Yes, sir.
Can't go back to 5544 Luther Court in Ellenwood. If you must go there for any reason, I will allow you to do so. You must contact Clayton County Sheriff or the police so that they can escort you. You must do so within 10 days of your release from jail.
Okay.
All right. Yes, sir.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I was told to ask if I can get a TPO from you. They told me as soon as I talk to you to ask about a TPO against Sonia Beatles. So she already had this done.
Yes, sir. You can't get a TPO, but you can't get it from me, and not today. You have to put in a petition for that, and another judge will hear it at the appropriate temporary protective order calendar date. All right. You first must do a petition. It's not automatic. The best I did was put a stay away provision, just like I did you for her. She has the same special condition, no contact with you. So if you want a TPO, then you must do a petition and follow that procedure. All right. Do it that way. But as far as this bond condition, she has one. She has a no contact provision, no contact with you, third party, social media, direct or any contact.
So just to be clear, I don't get to see my son.
Well, sir, based on the nature of the offense, that's the bond conditions. I didn't mention your son at all. I mentioned Sonia Beatles.
I understand, but I don't understand how I would be able to see him without contacting her through any form.
I understand that, sir. I don't understand what you're saying to me. There's other people besides you that can reach out, that can broker that.
Okay.
And for that purpose only, plus you can speak to a lawyer. There's all type of ways you can see your son, okay? This has nothing to do with your son. Talk to a lawyer. Get that visitation in place. It's very easy.
Okay.
All right?
Thank
All
you.
is not lost. This is a misdemeanor. You get past it. And in the meantime, do what you got to do to make sure that you're seeing your son, all right? Talk to a lawyer. It can happen very quickly and easily.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. McCord.
Good morning.
Yes, sir, Mr. McCord. Good morning to you. All right, sir. You're charged with one count of battery, family violence. I'm sorry, simple battery, family violence. Your bond is $2,500. At this time, there's no contact with Kristen Allen.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
I was going to ask, I can't go to the residence to retrieve my vehicles and just park in the yard. I have a key with me.
All right. Well, there's just no contact with her. If you can do so without making contact, sir, then you can do so. I didn't prohibit you from going to the residence. You just can't be there when she's there.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
December 15th. I'm sorry, December 14th. Why am I getting the 15th from? December 14th at 8:30 is your preliminary hearing, Mr. McCord. And I am appointing an attorney to represent you, sir.
Okay.
You have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Muhammad.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Kerry Muhammad.
Is that one of the on that I mentioned about tomorrow, Deputy Ricania? Hang
No,
on for
Your
me,
Honor.
Mr. Hammond. One moment.
You mentioned Percy and Robinson.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. That's right. Percy. Mr. Muhammad, give me one moment here, sir. All right. We'll come right back to him. I don't have his paperwork here. I'll come back to you in a moment here.
You can just take a seat, man. Next, we have Mr. Anthony Smith.
All right. Yes, sir, Mr. Smith. Good morning to you. All right. You're charged with one count of violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. Felony possession of methamphetamine is $8,000 is your bond. And then you're charged with misdemeanor possession of marijuana is $1,500. Your preliminary hearing is set for the 13th of December, 8:30. And I am appointing an attorney to represent you, sir. You have any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Thornton?
All right, Mr. Thornton, you're charged with one count of armed robbery and one count of aggravated assault. There's no bond on those two felonies. And you're charged with one count of battery. It's a misdemeanor. Your bond is $5,000. Preliminary hearing is scheduled for 13th of December. And your bond hearing is December 17th, both at 8:30. I am appointing an attorney to represent you, sir. You have any questions?
When I speak to my attorney?
Can you say that again, please?
When can I speak to my attorney?
I am not certain when they will be able to speak with you, sir, but I know it's very soon. All right, someone from the public defender's office will be assigned to represent you, sir, and they will be in touch with you.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Williams?
All right, Mr. Williams, good morning to you, sir.
Morning, sir.
All right, you're charged with one count of battery, family violence. It's a misdemeanor. Your bond is $5,000. You're charged with one count of cruelty to children in the third degree. $2,000 is your bond. There's special conditions. You can't contact Robin Brown and you can't return to 5859 Meadow Lane in Rex. If you must return there for any personal items, you must contact the Clayton County Sheriff or police. They must escort you to that location, sir. And you must do so within 10 days of your release.
Okay,
All right. You have any questions?
No, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. All right. We can bring Mr. Muhammad back. Mr. Muhammad, I don't have your warrants, but I have your charges. It is armed robbery, aggravated assault. There'll be no bond on those two offenses, and battery is $5,000. However, I'll have you come back tomorrow so that if you need the warrants read, they can be read to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
You have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Next is coming the fugitive, Mr. Heath.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Yes, sir, Mr. Heath. Good morning to you. How you doing?
I'm good with yourself.
I'm doing pretty good here. You're here this morning for me to inform you of the preliminary things you need to know about an extradition hearing, a formal hearing. So you're here today. All the rights that you heard, the constitutional rights, they applied to you, except what I'm informing you here is being conducted pursuant to the official code of Georgia, annotated as OCGA Title 17, Chapter 13. Sir, you're here because there is a warrant, and that warrant states that you did enter and remain in the state of Georgia knowing that you, Darrell Heath, is wanted by El Paso County Sheriff's Office in Colorado for damaged property That is a felony, and they will extradite. You have options. You can contest or fight the extradition process here in Georgia. If you choose to contest or fight it, then a warrant will be prepared under the seal of Governor Brian Kemp, Georgia's governor. You will remain in the custody of the Clayton County Jail, and a hearing will be conducted. You can remain in custody here for up to a period of 90 days. What can happen is you can contest 4 things at that hearing. First, whether you are in fact Daryl Heath. Second, whether the documents like the warrant I just read and any other documents are valid on its face, whether they're correct and true. Whether the crime that I mentioned there, the criminal damage, is a valid crime in the state of Colorado, or damaged property, whether that's an actual crime in Colorado. And lastly, you can contest whether you are in fact a fugitive. Those are the 4 things you can contest at that hearing. You can't contest your guilt or innocence. If you choose to waive your extradition hearing or the formal extradition hearing, then you can voluntarily do so. And the state of Colorado will have 10 days to pick you up from Clayton County Jail. Generally, that can be extended if they ask for an extension of time. And generally, I believe that is business days. So those are your options this morning, sir. Do you wish to contest or fight the extradition procedure and process, or do you wish to waive and return to Colorado?
Waive and return to Colorado, sir.
Yes, sir. Deputy Ricania has the waiver forms. I've signed those. You sign off on those, sir. And unless you have any questions, that will conclude your hearing this morning.
I just have one question, sir. Regarding the date on here, it says the 3rd, so am I able to go back on my own? I still have to wait on there.
Say that again.
On the paperwork here, it says November the 3rd. So
yeah, go ahead and if you look at my signature, I put the 2nd, so it's wrong. Just put 2.
Okay.
All right, just the 3rd, and sign. You have any other questions?
No, sir. So I have to wait 10 days, or am I able to return on my own? I already have a ticket purchased.
So that's the question. You said you're waiving, so you'll remain there for the 10 days. You're not getting a bond today, so you're not getting a bond to be released. And you remain there. If for whatever reason Colorado can't get you or make provisions to send you, then they can ask for an extension. So just wait it out. If they don't get you, you'll be released.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. Any other questions?
No, sir. That was it all.
All right. Thank you. All right, Deputy Ricania. Thank you, sir. I'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you this morning with the communication. Thank you.